Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into the best screw top bourbon I have in my collection, and that is Old Forester 100 Proof, the bottle that started it all. This is Old Forester's budget line. I love their non-budget line quite a bit, and I like their budget line quite a bit too. I'm just an Old Forester fanboy. If I had like one distillery to say I loved, it's Old Forester. This is the first bottle I ever bought for my collection, and it's been there ever since. So full disclosure, I have bias to this bottle before I review it. This is my favorite budget bourbon of all time. But I'm still going to review it because, well, we haven't reviewed it yet. I need to sit down, take this serious, see what I think about it. Before we get into that, though, the mash bill on the sucker is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. It is 100 proof, just like the label says. It is from Old Forester, and the MSRP is roughly around $20 to $25. Here in Arizona, you can find it for $20, which is fantastic. On the nose. Ooh, it's so sweet. Getting that traditional Brown-Forman banana note. Little bit of like a peanut shell. Lots of like creamy vanilla. It reminds me of like kind of like ice cream in a way. Like if banana ice cream was a thing, which I bet it probably is, because if I think it should be a thing, it probably is a thing. I've just never seen it on the shelves, but this smells exactly like banana ice cream if you put a little bit of nuts on it. Slight tinge of oakiness. Yeah, there's more of like a peanutiness funk than there is like an oaky funk. It's that banana Foster's note that's like jumping out of the glass more than anything. This reminds me so much of a banana split, just a banana covered in vanilla ice cream, covered in slight amounts of chocolate syrup, a little bit of cherry syrup, and just drizzled with a slight amount of peanuts. Like the peanuts, it's very faint. It's kind of on the back end of the nose. Ooh. Maybe a little bit of a pineapple note too. But at that point, I'm just reaching at this point. Let's go ahead and get on the palate. So the oakiness and the nuttiness, it's heavier on the palate, but still, that banana Foster's, creamy vanilla ice cream, the nuttiness is almost gone. Still, there's a little bit of that like milk chocolate cherry in there, a little bit of like a graham cracker note as well, getting a little bit of like a toffee caramel, vanilla ice cream still. It's just, again, it's that banana split sundae. It's just a different amount. Like on the nose, it's getting so much more like vanilla ice cream banana. The banana is way heavier on the nose. And then that cherry syrup and then the chocolate, it's a little bit heavier on the nose. And then on the palate, it's like you took that sundae and you just dumped way more nuts on it. It's not like overly nutty. It's just the nutty notes are starting to stand out next to the vanilla sweetness, the caramel, the banana note, the cherry note, whereas they were very faint on the nose. Finishes into just this banana vanilla sweetness with a slight hint of oakiness. It's almost like it finishes very, very sweet. There's almost no oak, but there is a slight amount. And it goes for a moderate time. It's a little thinner than I remembered, but it's not thin per se. It's just I remember it being more viscous. I already said I'm biased, so it's kind of hard to give a real fitting grade for this without letting my bias seep in a little bit, because I want to give it like an A++++++, because I think this is phenomenal whiskey. Overall though, I think I'm just going to give it a flat A. I think it's really good. There's just certain things about this that I didn't remember that are there. I was not aware, or I didn't remember that much like nuttiness and the oakiness on the palate. The palate gets way darker and denser than I remembered, and it throws off this flavor profile, because the flavor profile, it's very, very sweet, banana-y, vanilla ice cream, and then on the palate there, it's initially just this sharp, like nutty oakiness where it's not super duper balanced. Overall though, I still think it's a fantastic whiskey. It's just, I'm gonna have to drop down a peg for that slight astringent, like nutty oakiness as soon as you take a sip on the palate. Overall though, really, really good whiskey. A, solid flat A. Old Forester 100 proof gets a solid A. I like it. I still think it's probably the best budget bourbon out there. Again, any given day, Wild Turkey 101, Old Forester 100 proof. I think they're both fantastic, fantastic whiskeys. I'm just personally more of a fanboy for Old Forester, so I'm always like, Old Forester is the one. This is a very solid bottle, though. If you're looking for something sub $20, I don't think you can do better than this. This is the best sub $20 bourbon you can find. It's very balanced. Despite that like astringent note I was talking about there, it's very balanced. It's solid. It's a little thinner than I remembered. For 100 proof, it drinks almost like it's like 90 proof. But again, that's not a complaint. It's super crushable, cheap whiskey that's not going to let you down. I mean, what more did you expect from a $20 bourbon? Old Forester 100 proof, solid A. Great whiskey, great price, good bourbon. You can't go wrong with Old Forester. That's going to be a wrap for this video, though. Please do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys thought about this video. Let us know what you guys thought about my grading. I hope my bias didn't get too much into it, but it is what it is. Also, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. The link for that is down there below. We appreciate y'all for your support. Cheers.